Hi everyone, welcome to the end of January general reading. We're going to be covering love, we're going to be covering career/money, finances, and I'm going to be time stamping for everything below. I want to first start though, I'm going to be starting at the beginning of all of the signs with this particular astrological component where I mix it with tarot. I don't know, I've never done this actually on YouTube, but I think it's a way of helping a lot of you who are very interested in connecting tarot to astrology, having to do with the cards. And we're just going to be talking about a lot of the big stuff that's going to be happening the end of this month. But if you're not into that, no worries. Check the timestamps in the description box below and just pop forward to whatever it is that you're interested at during this point, whether it's a relationship, career, whatever it is, okay? But for those of you who are interested, let's talk about what's going on and let's connect it to the cards. My name's Jackie. Thank you so much for joining me, for those of you who are new. So listen, the big star for the end of this month really is going to be the full moon in Leo, right? That's happening on the 28th, but there's a lot of energy sort of surrounding it, right? Coming up to that point. What is Leo, right? Leo is the strength energy, right? So for us to have this full moon in Leo, beautiful, because what is the moon? The moon is about our intuition, right? The moon is also the story that we tell ourselves. It has to do with the moon does rule our home. But, even in a metaphorical way, our foundation, what we need to feel very grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. And with the Leo energy, we're tapping into all of that, having to do with romance. How grounded, rooted, safe, and secure do we feel in that? How about our children? Creativity, entrepreneurial efforts, just our idea of fun, right? Leo is a fun energy and it's super romantic. It has to do with falling in love, love affairs, romance, how we connect with our partner on a Monday through Sunday, what we do for fun because we love to do it, taking something that we love and figuring out a way to make money at it. It has to do with anything that we create, which is why it's also the house of children. It's also the house of gambling as well. But anyway, so what do we have going on here, right? So we have this full moon, right? The moon, right? Full moon in Leo. And we have this working with the Aquarius sun, right? This is what happens. They're opposite each other, right? So there's going to be a lot of light shown on this. And what is the sun? The sun is our focus. It's material happiness. It's the ability to have the outcome, first of all, that we're really looking for, but it's where our focus is geared, right? Now, to have it in Aquarius, which is the star energy, is all about focusing on the future, looking at where do you need to have a renewed sense of hope. Where in this Leo energy might you need some inner clarity having to do with your romance or a situation having to do with your kids or what it is that you're doing for a living. So I really kind of feel like, doesn't that cover so much, right? So there's going to be a lot going on with this because it's going to be, the sun is going to be shining on this moon energy. Now in relationships, it can often bring this need for resolve, where this need at least is going to be a confrontation of these ideas. Now that can sound negative, but it doesn't have to be, because what is it all about? The star energy with the sun is about, let's pay attention to what we need to focus on in order to fix something. Now what I love about this particular full moon, this one, is that the sun, it's going to be at 9 degrees Aquarius, right? 9 degrees Leo for the moon, 9 degrees Aquarius for the sun. This is going to be beautifully conjunct optimistic Jupiter, which is the wheel of fortune, which is about good energy and a turning point. And the need to take a chance on something. It's on something. It is gambling, right? It is that gambling energy. Again, with the gambling, I don't know, go play scratch off. But I love this energy for the end of the month. There's going to be so much focus on this. Now, additionally, this sun and moon dynamic, this is going to be forming a T-square to Mars. Mars is going to be in Taurus. So what is Mars? Mars in Taurus. We have the Tower energy and the Hierophant having a baby. So like, what? Wait a minute. What does that mean? Well, what is the Tower? Tower is Mars. Well, what is it, right? In Tarot, everybody's like, oh, I don't want the Tower. That means the complete annihilation of something. It means ruin, upheaval, disgrace. You know what it means? It's Mars, right? What is Mars obsessed with? Putting us on our rightful path. What is really meant to happen? And if you're on a path, whether it's a relationship, a job, any sort of situation, that Mars has been flipping up the red flags in your face, and we all do it, right? We all ignore it when we want to. We all do. It's part of the human condition. It's like, no, I don't want to look at that because I really want this to work, kind of thing. Well, Mars is posing the question, is that really the right thing for you? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But it's time that if it is, and you're not appreciating something, there's got to be an update in that perception. If, and again, it doesn't have to be this complete ruin pulling down. We have these internal tower moments where we're changing our perception of how we view something. Now, having it work with the Hierophant energy, right? This is Taurus. Taurus is the Hierophant. This is about traditions and conventions and expectations and conformity. And what is it that you really, really want? Are you on that path of where you really want to be? So because it's creating this T-square, guys, just so you understand, right, the way T-square works in astrology. So here we have the sun and the moon, and then you have the center point. That creates the T. And the angle of that T, which would be the angle of Mars and Taurus, is where that focus is going to be. So this is going to be giving a lot of drive to figure out solutions to what's going on in this area. Now, there can be with this inflated expectations. There could be possible like impatience going on. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it could definitely be that. There could be this energy of, even though we have that sun, and I think this is going to be helping it though, is going to be conjunct this Jupiter energy. That's just going to be amping up because Jupiter is about growth and expansion. So take whatever it's hanging with and expand it, right? So you just want to be careful now, taking it outside the box a little bit, that Jupiter-Mars dynamic. You want to be careful of arrogance, of hubris, of overdoing, of over anything. But I don't want to downplay the positive energy that this is going to be bringing. The level of hope in romance, in creative endeavors, in where you're going. This is going to be very, very hopeful. It really, really is. But I just want to make sure that you have a little bit of temperance going on here. And I didn't pull a temperance card, but the temperance card, that's like a Sagittarius energy. Maintain your integrity, right? You want to maintain your integrity while you move forward. So it really is about just temper things. Be a little patient as these energies are hitting, because this is what's going to happen in this energy. There's going to be a huge desire to drive forward, especially the 23rd to the 26th. We do have Mars in a square with Jupiter, right? So that square right there is going to create, when I break it out into your signs, I'm going to explain how it's going to be impacting each of your sun and rising signs, directly. But there is this idea that we have to come to terms with something, right? There's got to be this energy where if we have Mars in tension with Jupiter, this is like the tower being in tension with the wheel. Well, this is a very fortunate energy. This is about taking a chance and things going well, but it does need to, what you have to do though is understand what needs to be released or updated. Even if nothing's being released, you might just need to change the way that something is being perceived. So we have that energy going into this full moon, going into this T-square. So we have all of that going on. So at the bottom line of all of that, hopeful, let's go, let's change, let's problem solve, really. Let's just figure things out. But the challenge here, guys, is going to be a couple of things. I mean, we do have, first of all, and what I like here that's going to be added into all of this, I love that we're going to have Venus and Pluto at an almost exact conjunction at the end of the month. So Venus is all about the Empress energy. This is the Empress. This is about growth and expansion. She's the mother of the tarot. It's not only about love, it's money as well. Venus is money. It's one of the money planets. It's self-worth, self-value. How good do you feel about being in something? Do you feel loved? Are you loving what you do? Are you able to grow in what you're doing? And we have that conjunct, which means it's blending with Pluto, which is all about transformation. So there's definitely changes going on in the money sector. There are changes going on in relationship. Could be one of those areas, none, one or all of them. But this could also be internal transformation when we're talking about Venus with Pluto. You're changing the way you see yourself. You're changing the way that your self-concept and feeling really good. Or maybe not good, but I think good because it's Venus there, which is really pushing you to change in a very positive way if you're experiencing like that and not in money or relationship. So I'm not mad at that energy at all. I mean, Pluto can be this disruptive energy in that it's all about endings and beginnings, but let's focus on the beginning part. Focus on the gift. Don't focus on the negative, because then you're never going to be able to really manifest the positive if you keep focusing on the negative of something, right? So we have all of this going on, and I really do feel like from a holistic point, there's a lot of negotiation going on here having to do with relationships, career, money. Depends on how it's going to be hitting you specifically, but I wanted to give this kind of energy read because a lot of people don't know their placements. They don't know what time they're born to check their chart, their house placements, because you need to know that time of birth to know all of your house placements. So I want to give just, and you're going to know, you're going to vibe where you're going to be feeling it. So now I do want to also, before I talk about Mercury going retrograde, I do want to talk about the fact that we're going to have Mercury, the Sun, Jupiter, and Venus on a collective level, And I'm talking about according to and I know a lot of you guys watch me who are not living in the United States, but those of you who are living in the States, I can't do it for every country, obviously. The collective energy, we have a lot of expansive energies here in the 8th house. So the eighth house is about coming to financial terms, financial agreements, right? So we have Mercury, communication, Sun, focus, Jupiter, luck and expansion, Venus having to do with money and love in the 8th house, the end of the month. So I definitely think that this speaks to those of us who are familiar, like with the stimulus situation going on, anything like that. All right. Now this is going to be in conjunct, though. I do want to mention this, in conjunct with Saturn, the transiting Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, and all of that in the 3rd, right? So we have this dynamic between communication and settling up on something. So why do I want to mention this? Well, first of all, I know it's wonderful to say everything is in that 8th house where it seems like really positive, and it is. But you have to understand what an in conjunct means is tension with the 3rd house of communication. So when you have Saturn, hanging out where it's in conjunct Mercury, which is the magician, we have this idea of there needs to be this culmination of this lesson learned, right? There does, because that's the world energy, through this very focused creativity. There needs to be this idea of the ability to turn a vision in the mind's eye into reality. So there's going to be a lot of negotiations. Now, I think the fact that this is leading into February, which is going to have Mercury retrograde. Mercury is going to be retrograde, and it's going to be pre-shadow the last 2 weeks of this month. It's going to be stationary on the 29th into the 30th, which means that there's going to be a culmination of issue having to do with communication, right? And then we go into Mercury retrograde for the month of February. And the thing is, I'm not mad at this, guys. You can't stop life. This is so necessary. If we just look at it from a societal level, and a lot of you, I'm sure, even on a personal level, where it's this time for negotiation. You say, well, wait a minute, Jackie. Mercury is a terrible energy to negotiate in. No, it's not. Not if what's been put on the table was configured prior to the Mercury retrograde. It's fantastic. Glass half full. No, it's not a good time to maybe start something brand spanking new or to suggest something brand spanking new. But as we're connecting this to the collective and we're talking about finances and things like that, and people getting the help that they need, because I think a lot of you guys need to understand this right now, there's going to be heavy negotiations. And this is really positive, because all of this stuff has been set in motion before Mercury retrograde. So you have to understand that. If you put in for a job position before Mercury retrograde and you're in the space of negotiation, good. If you're negotiating a contract, a lease, the buying of a home, the selling of a home that started before this point that we're discussing, this is good because it slows everything down so that we can look at everything more clearly. We can see the minutia of everything, right? Because Mercury is such a fast energy, sometimes we need to slow it down and pull it back in order to not miss any of the very important details. So that's going to be going on, having to do with February. I did the February astrology only, if you guys want to check out that video. But that's what everybody's going to be dealing with. Now I'm going to go pull for your particular sign. Okay, see you on the other side. Bye-bye. Hey Virgo, let's get right into your reading. We're going to start off with career. You guys are doing great today. So there's a lot of like 6th house energy going on for you guys, having to do with your day-to-day work environment. Could have to do with your mental, physical, emotional health, your health in general. But that 6th house is kind of a big house, and it's sort of weird how everything is connected, right? So it's your day-to-day work environment. It's who you work with and for, but it's also your health. It's also your small pets, but it's your day-to-day experience as well. Anyway, we have that Mars is going to be in the 9th house for you. Jupiter is going to be in the 6th house. That's where that square is going to be coming up. So Mars is all about that, feeling very, very motivated to, get on something, some sort of new path, new direction. Jupiter is about luck and expansion. So you have these two together. You have to be careful of not overdoing something, of not going overboard on something, right? But now we do have the full moon for you guys is going to be happening in your 12th house. And I like this for you because there's going to be a lot of illumination shining into your subconscious of what feels right to you and what doesn't feel right to you. And because we have it opposite the moon, the sun is going to be in the 6th house with Jupiter, I just feel like this is going to be just a really good solid sense of illumination for where it is that you want to go and what it is that you want in your subconscious. What do you really want for yourself? And we have Mercury is going to be stationary. Mercury is going to be going retrograde in your house, right? Because you guys are the 6th house, and you're going to have Mercury retrograde in you guys, right? Of course, right? So, but that's having it stationary those last couple of days of the month, right before it goes retrograde, the beginning of February, there's going to be a lot of energy rising to the surface, having to do with like maybe wonky communication or not being able to see a solution in something just for a day or two. But remember, this particular Mercury retrograde especially, just feel like it's going to be very good energy to revisit something, particularly something that you've had sort of you've been working at leading up to something. So any sort of negotiation that you started already, any sort of, maybe if you put in, if you put out a job application, or you put your CV or something out there to get a job, whatever it was, you started negotiation, you put the bid in for that house, you applied for that mortgage already, right? Whatever it is, this energy going into this Mercury retrograde, while it's not ideal, it never is, to start something brand spanking new, I'm really not a big proponent of stopping life. We have to live. Just make sure you read the fine print. But this is a really good energy, and I just feel like because of how Jupiter is aspected, for us to do some really good negotiations, we have to exercise patience, which might be a little challenging, but really good negotiating kind of energy. Now you do have Venus is going to be conjunct Pluto in your 5th house, and I love that for those of you who are thinking about maybe starting your own business, any sort of entrepreneurial activity. That's 5th house, right? It's creativity, doing what you love to do because you love to do it, and then maybe even taking it into the sphere where you're going to end up making some money at it. There's change going on here though, right? So Venus is a money planet. It's also about our self-respect, our self-love, and love in general, right? And hanging out in that 5th house of fun, of creativity, conjunct this change that Pluto always brings. It's transformation. Something has to end so that something else can be beginning. And because you guys have just so much energy happening in your 6th house this year, I just really like this for you. Look, and as I always say, it doesn't mean that the energy is going to be easy, but it's going to be productive. You know what I mean? It's going to be productive. So let's see what we have. Very nice. I like it. We have the Park. Very good for those of you who are involved in any sort of networking, any sort of or needing to network. social media activity, social media engagement, anything like that. I really like that for you. So we're entering into a new phase for you right now. Absolutely. Yeah, you get that Mars, the sexy Mars guy, right? Looking into the future, right? We like this. Fresh path, new perspective. Come on, let's go, let's go. And you know, before anybody gets upset or stressed out, you know, because I know a lot of people don't like listening to anything that's less than, you know, fabulous messages with butterflies and unicorns, right? I mean, I believe me, I get it, I understand. But you always want to understand that squares are so necessary for us to grow and get to that next stage. So this Mercury square Jupiter is going to be very motivating. And because of the way Jupiter is aspecting the sun, we're going to feel very optimistic. We just want to be careful of any sort of like hubris, any sort of arrogance or overdoing. We want to keep one foot grounded. You guys are good at doing that. So, but you know, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Okay, beautiful. I love when we get the lilies and Lenormand. We got messages coming from the other side. I do like this. Listen, I feel like you've got very creative, putting your what do they say? Like putting your fishing rod out there or whatever and seeing like what bites, right? Hello, I can't speak. Okay, you know, listen. What can I tell you? Mercury rules my chart. So we're going into the pre-shadow. I'm always a little bit of a hot mess, so I don't know. If something weird happens to the video or if I start speaking backwards, I'm not possessed. I'm just very heavily Mercury ruled. I can't help it. It's always a thing for me. So let's pull some tarot on this Park energy. Park energy. So this is definitely including other people, even though there's no one in the card, which I always think is funny with this. But this is about networking, socializing, getting yourself out there, blogging, YouTube channel, vlogging, anything where you're meeting, dealing with people, okay? Having to do in some sort of money venture. So we have the Four of Pentacles. So let's pull a few cards and then we'll see what we get. Page of Cups. I like it. Good. Knight of Swords. Necessary. Okay. So I feel like you're in a space right now, Virgo, where you have a very strong desire for long-term security. You're holding on to your money now. You're watching your money and you're very focused on long-term security. We have this idea of you really wanting to open up this new chapter in your life, really doing something that you absolutely love, that really speaks to you. All right. The Page of Cups is something, it's a new cycle in your life that speaks to your heart space. Now we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is coming in and making these honest proclamations about the truth, right? And sometimes it can be a little bit of an unsettling energy, but a necessary air clearing kind of conversation that's going to incite a lifestyle change. So a change in what you're doing right now. So some truth is going to be served up that might not be comfortable. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to come from a person. Pages and Knights could just be general energetic influences, right? And it could just simply be this realization that something is not going to bring you the long-term security that it is that you're looking for, right? Hence the page energy of the new cycle. But something's going to be coming in via this connection with other people, either networking or putting yourself out there, right, in some kind of way. Now we have the Rider energy, and the Rider always brings a message when she comes in, right? This is a new cycle. It's the kind of horse on the merry-go-round that goes up and down, which incites a new cycle. She's got her messenger bag there with a letter. So she's bringing a message of a new cycle in with her. So let's see. So the Four of Swords energy. What's going to be happening here? Four of Swords energy, straight up, this is you're going to be realizing, this is Jupiter and Libra energy. You're going to be realizing if something that you are connected to right now is working or not. Okay, because the Libra energy, first of all, has to do with the 7th house of partnership. So anyone or any situation, be it a large company, be it a business partner, any sort of situation that you are associated with in any sort of legal way, you're going to be in the space of saying, is this actually bringing me what it is that I'm looking for? Because Jupiter expands whatever it's in, right? So if Jupiter's going to be in Libra, you're looking at your money. You're looking at how secure you feel. How good do you feel about yourself? Are you happy? in this particular situation. But when you're in this space, before you start this new cycle is going to be incited by you kind of stepping back, you retreating, you putting yourself into a little bit of solitude to figure this out, to ask those big questions and see what you come up with. Ace of Swords. So what you're going to come up with is mental clarity and some sort of new idea. Now that new idea is going to present some sort of new conflict, meaning it makes sense, right? If you're coming to this realization that you want to get into something either in a different way or a new area altogether, or try a different approach, that's going to mean that you're going to have a new experience. You may have to learn something new. You may have to research something. There needs to be problem solving, and that's the new conflict, right? With change, it's like, I'm not going to be doing this anymore. I'm going to be doing that. Oh, but guess what? I don't really know everything about that, and that's going to be the new conflict. It's going to stress you out. Why? Because you're a Virgo. Because you like to know everything. You're all about problem solving, and if you can't see a solution within 5 minutes, it's very uncomfortable for you. It's not that you can't do it. It's just that it's in your solutions. Problem solving comes incredibly natural for you. So if you don't see the end point of something right away, and you see a lot of like trees and blockades and obstacles between here and there, it's just so uncomfortable for you. It's not the end of the world. It's still a minor arcana, but don't be surprised if you find yourself feeling a little anxious. Some of you may even be tinkering with a little bit of depression right now because you can't see it, and it's frustrating, and you want it to at least be clear to you. It's like, it's interesting. I feel like you're patient for the process as long as you can have a clearer perspective of what's on the other side of something, whatever this financial situation is, whether it's investing in something, getting into on a new career path, staying in the same career, maybe just going in a different direction, but it's like the not knowing. Some of you may even be waiting to hear back from somebody, or feel a little trepidatious, or you might even be in a space of procrastinating, needing to learn something new that's going to incite this new cycle. So it depends on where you're at, this is a general message, but that's what this can indicate. So we have this Mars guy looking into the future. I like it with the Strength energy, and I like this as the center card. Let's pull the other two and see what we got. Good. Yeah, all right. Listen, this makes sense to me. Beautiful, Leo. This is what the full moon is in, right? Yeah, the full moon is going to be really swimming around in that second house, in that 12th house of yours, in your subconscious. And what is Leo? Leo's just creativity galore. And the problem when we have Leo in the 12th house, for those of you who know where your Leo placement is, if your Leo is in the 12th house, you're very creative, but you're scared as anything to actually release that creative project to the world, because the 12th house is the house of the hidden. It's the house of the subconscious. So you can be writing novels and novellas and songs, and screenplays, and coming up with 12 teen projects, right? In your own mind or in the privacy of where you are, but you can feel a little nervous about bringing it out to the world, So I feel like you're going to be very creative. You're going to be very future focused. You're going to be doing all of that. I love that we have the Two of Cups here, because the Two of Cups indicates some sort of new proposal coming in that's really going to speak to your heart space. I love it. And you're going to be really nervous because you're not going to be sure. Is this the right thing for me? I don't know. I don't know if this feels like the right thing for me. But yet, this is a self-imposed energy. There's this self-imposed feeling of isolation, imprisonment, restriction, feeling like you don't belong, It's like walking into the room where, like, maybe, you're all dressed up and everybody else has sweats on, or vice versa, where it's like, what doesn't belong here, kind of thing, right? But it's very internal, and you not being sure if you actually belong in a certain sector, in a certain situation, and I don't know if it's so much you feeling like I'm not good enough, though that could be it. You just feeling just not sure. And that's what's going to be happening right now. Anyway, this is not going to be forever. But again, the full moon in Leo. Leo is such an optimistic, beautiful, creative energy. But because it's going to be happening in your 12th house, you have to be patient with yourself and know that you are going to be dealing with this, not the level of optimism to expose it out to the public, even though it's really what you're being called to do. Does that make sense to you? Like, the level of creativity is going to be very internal. So now we have the labyrinth energy. So this is you strategizing different things, trying different things. You're going to try this and you're going to try that. Beautiful. We have the star. It's all about the future. The star energy is an Aquarius energy. And this is about having hope. And the star does have this, it's this idea of renewal, meaning you're going to have this inner clarity and you're going to have faith in where you're going based on where you've been. You know, having faith in yourself ultimately, which is really good, and having faith in the future. So we have this working with the Five of Wands as well as the Five of Pentacles. So we have 2 5s consecutive. You know, 5 is the number of mankind. It's also the number of challenge and conflict. So when we have 5 of Wands, this is Battle of the Wells. Straight up. Saturn and Leo. Okay, and then we have the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles, another very like mindset, right? Internal poverty mindset, worry about financial loss. You worried about isolating yourself. You worried things going to go the way I want, you know. And so you may find yourself needing to try different strategies. Don't be surprised if you come up with against you know, you might even end up having a battle of the wills within yourself, Virgo, you know. I mean, that's very common with this energy as well. Because what is it anyway, right? It's challenges and obstacles and feeling like, I don't know if I could do this. I'm not even sure if I want to do this. I feel the competition. I feel the challenge, and I'm not sure if this is the right thing for me. So it's you trying one thing and then another and then another. So let this sort of be like, let this kind of be an understanding that you're going to have to take on different strategies to something, and you're not going to hit it out of the park straight away. But I do like, I'm going back to this, to the strength energy and this 2 of Cups, because I do see you resolving within yourself. Now, you can be meeting a new partner. The 2 of Cups can mean a lot of things in career read. An obvious one is you meeting some sort of business partner or somebody who is going to be working with you or for you, right? But remember, the 2 of Cups energy is a Venus and Cancer energy, right? So, you know, this is about getting in touch with what it is that you really want to feel you need to feel very grounded, rooted, safe, and secure, right? And you figuring that out with the Leo creative energy. So this could be you coming to some sort of epiphany within yourself, if it's not a business partner. Okay, if it's not that. The 2 of Cups, though, could also be you may be hiring a new lawyer or hiring some sort of firm or making some sort of deal with a bank for a loan. That's also a 2 of Cups energy, right? But it doesn't mean it's going to be very comfortable for you to do it, because you're not going to be able to see what's on the other side of it. So you're going to get what you need here, and you're going to be trying different attempts at something. Don't give up, because you're going to feel worse than the situation is in reality. Does that make sense? I know that doesn't sound very positive, but you have to keep your eye on the prize and on the end goal. As these are minor arcanas, these are short-lived. They're short. The star is a major arcana. That's more long, right? The major arcanas are more long-lasting. The minor arcanas are just like everyday, you know, things that happen that we have to deal with. Now, we have the Lenormand lilies, which you guys know I love. Does this mean somebody from the other side has your back? They're helping you out. If you don't have anyone on the other side, which is highly unlikely, because you don't even need to know them, right? They could just be an ancestor or somebody who's just watching out for you. We all have someone. But if you don't believe in that, this could be spirit. If you don't believe in that, pay attention to your intuition, because you're going to be getting some messages. You absolutely are. Beautiful 10 of Cups energy. Got the High Priestess with the lilies. Beautiful. Yep, beautiful. Listen, There's somebody, okay, whether it's your intuition, spirit, or somebody from the other side is telling you to keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. 10 of Cups. It is possible to get the money that you need, create the living for yourself that you want, that you really feel supports you and that you love. This is not only for other people, it is for you. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust your intuition. You have to, however you feel like things need to roll out or be conducted right now is the right thing. The High Priestess is about keeping some things a secret, trusting yourself though. But not disclosing everything that's in your mind to everybody in the 3D. Then we have this working with the 9 of Wands. Yes, tap into your creativity. Be very sort of free-spirited about what you want to do. Make sure you love it. But this is all about being creative. The Wands are will, it's creativity, it's passion, and it's being brave. And that's the message from the other side. Don't allow the little silly snafus with maybe the challenging personality here or there, or you feeling like, oh, I'm too scared to do it. Because look, not to be like dogmatic or anything here, right? But I just want to remind you of what you all already know. The clock is ticking, and it's ticking forwards. And I don't say that to make anyone anxious or anything, but it's like, look, we're going to go from here to there anyway. Why not give it a go? What do you want to do, Virgo? What do you feel in your belly that you want to do? Do it. What's the worst that can happen? You screw up? So what? That's why pencils were made with erasers. You try something again. You got the Labyrinth card. Throw everything against the wall and see what sticks, but don't be scared. Don't be scared. Because, what's going to end up if you don't do whatever's here? This is how strong the energy are. Lots of regret later on. Nothing's worth that. Nothing. Nothing's worth the regret. Time's going to pass anyway. You might as well, throw the best version of yourself out there. Take that financial risk. Go after that thing that you want to go after. Create whatever it is that you want to create. Just go for it. The energy is here for you. It really is. It's not for everybody this particular year. It's not. Everybody's got their own set of stuff going on. But for you, listen, it's not going to be easy, but believe me, you have, everything to support for the next 2 years. Honestly, especially the next year, because Jupiter's going to be hanging with Saturn in there. With the exception of May into July. And I'm going to keep saying that in my readings, because then it's going to go forward into the 7th house, and then it's going to track back in July back into the 6th house. So really good those 3 months if you have to sign any contracts or anything like that. Really good stuff. And they'll be hanging with Saturn until December of next year. All right. So let's go into relationships. Let's pull for you first, our Virgo friends, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Whatever's going on, you're together, you're not together, it's weird, whatever the heck might be going on. See what we have happening this week. All right, well, coming into this energy, we're dealing with the devil. So the devil could be anything from addiction to greed, envy, materialism, obsession, sexual lust, anxiety, depression, somebody with control issues. Remember this Capricorn energy, right? Poor Capricorn, the devil, right? I always feel so bad for them. But what is it, right? Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is a very, we know Saturn to be challenging, but what does Saturn do, right? Saturn kind of shackles us a little bit until we learn a lesson, right? There's something that we have to deal with Saturn before he releases the shackles, right? That's, so this is like a shackling in some area of relationship that's creating imbalance. So somebody's not, it's like not on the same page kind of energy, right? So somebody, again, could be dealing with, some sort of addiction or imbalance. some sort of obsession again, just, and that could always be like anxiety, depression, unchecked, untreated, something like that. But it's just getting in the way. It's getting in the way of the relationship. Now, this could be you, Virgo, or this could be an energy that you're dealing with, which is influencing you. So the situation right now, in the current situation here, we have the Hierophant, which is the marriage card, and this is about honoring the sacred in your marriage for some of you. But for everyone, the Hierophant energy is about traditions and conventions and expectations within relationship. What do you expect? What do they expect? The needing to conform to things, right? So we have this idea of expectations, and we have it working with the Five of Cups energy, which is about feeling grief and abandoned and unloved. So for some of you may be in the space where here you are, where you have this relationship, and there are certain expectations either that are put upon you or that you're putting upon someone else just because you're in relationship and they need to conform to something, but you're feeling like they're not on the same page as you. You're feeling abandoned or unloved, or some of you may be feeling regret. Some of you might be feeling kind of just this sadness. Focusing on, though, what happens here with the Five of Cups is there's this greater focus on the 3 cups that are spilt and not recognizing the 2 cups that are still standing. So this is very much focusing on the negative of the situation. And not because you're a negative Nancy or they're a negative Nancy. Nothing like that. It's just sometimes when we're upset about something before we can actually process it, right? This is part of the human condition. We're going to be focused on that thing until a little bit of time passes and we can have a little easing back, right? But you're very focused on your wish fulfillment. I mean, that's the crowning energy. You just want to be happy. You want to be happy, This is about your wishes coming true. And therefore, this could be a rather frustrating energy that you're dealing with right now. Now, the foundation, we have the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is about, well, if money's an issue, this does indicate money news coming in, which is good. This could indicate a new job, money news coming in. But it's about patience as well. This is inciting a new cycle. Page is a new cycle. Pentacles is mental, physical, and emotional connection. This could be a new cycle of patience. This could be a new cycle where if money was an issue in any way, shape, or form, there being a change in that, which is really nice. We have that Crown with the wish fulfillment with that, this new cycle. So something opening up. So we have in you and only you, we have this very good piece of information coming in. Very positive news comes in that ends up inciting quick action, almost like a frenetic energy where it's like all of a sudden something changes. All of a sudden. Virgo, I don't know. This looks really good. I'm Virgo rising, so I'm like a little excited about this. So you guys know I don't read for myself. I learned a long time ago from my shaman it's bad energy, so I sage, I meditate, and I pull, however it rolls out. But we have the King of Cups here, which is great, because this is about this is an external energy that's influencing you. So a supportive energy, tolerant energy, very empathetic. I love it. This is really, really beautiful. As I've been saying, like the King of Cups in astrology is Libra and Scorpio. So Libra is that 7th house energy, particularly for those of you who are married. But then we have it with Scorpio. So it's about change. There's this transformation, but it's very positive, right? Because Libra's ruled by Venus. So it's about love and things that are equitable, right? In that space. So it's like it's kind of like a leveling up energy. So the King of Cups, right, is very sort of supportive, very empathetic. Beautiful. Like I feel like something is going on here because we have in the hope and fear, we have the Ace of Swords. This is about mental clarity, but I feel like this is more of a hope kind of thing, where this something is suddenly very, very clear to you. This new thing might be a little scary. This is a very psychologically based card, though. It's not real. Meaning, this is your feelings, right? And your feelings could be based on reality, but they could also just be based on fear or other unresolved things. But there's some sort of clarity and some sort of new idea that you're hoping for, but at the same time you're afraid of it. which is very interesting. Now we have this working in the near future with the Nine of Pentacles. This is about very self-sufficient energy. This is about financial gain. And it's the Nine of Pentacle energy is the kind of energy where it's like you're paying your bills and then you have some left over. This is an energy where there's a lot of paying attention to your wants, needs, and desires. It's not a selfish energy, but you are focused on you being self-sufficient, you know, making sure that your needs are met, you know, which I do like. Because I feel like some sort of negative issue was going on, but then somebody is, it's like your partner, whether you guys are together or not, it doesn't really matter. Somebody is I don't know if the good news is coming in from them or from you, but something's coming in that's going to be really positive for your relationship. But there was a space of negativity where things were a little more challenging. So now in the near future, like, this is great, awesome, but this is still what I need, right? So you not, what I like about this is you not giving up on what's important to you, which I like. And I can't tell you how much I love the strength energy in this outcome, because we have Venus conjunct Pluto in your 5th house, which is Leo, which is the strength card. This is fabulous. Self-love, unconditional love, first of all, here, but also loving yourself, having self-respect, and being brave, because something, you might be kind of nervous to move forward in something. I feel like because of the devil in the past. But it's like something really beautiful wants to come to fruition here. So it was like something that wasn't so good is really, really very good right now, or it's going in a better direction here. Because we have this is an important card here, especially for those of you who have not been in contact, or definitely like hearing from somebody, okay? Some of you are going to resonate with it like that. Others of you, you guys are in the relationship, you're in each other's day-to-day all the time, but you've been having a lot of struggle within the relationship because of something. Maybe you've been waiting for a response of some sort or something, and it comes in. Either to you or your partner, it doesn't even matter, but the message arrives, gets to you, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. And it creates this almost frenetic kind of change that incites a strong foundation. So, I mean, that's really good. All right, listen, your partner better have an equally good one, right? Let's see what we have. What do we want to use? So we want to do. Let's see. Let's use the chocolate down. See what Virgo, Sun, Rising, Venus, partner. Remember, this is a subjective read from their perspective. So coming into this energy, we have the moon. And the moon is them feeling a lot underneath the surface, and they may not have been telling you everything, right? Because the moon is about unseen problems, and it's about changes that they feel like they want to make, and they're in, you know, where they were in a space of wanting to trust their intuition. But the problem with the moon is sometimes we tell ourselves, we all do this is just everybody, this false narrative, right? Because the moon rules the 4th house of Cancer, which is the house of the stories that we tell ourselves. And there's nobody in there to check us. So they might have been feeling some sort of fears. They may have been holding, you know, if the devil energy was them, they may have been hiding some sort of addiction. They may have been hiding some sort of imbalance from you. So, you know, something where it was a holding back energy. Right now, the situation, though, is we have the Princess of Cups, which is this are the new offering of love, because the Prince and the Page is a new cycle. So it's this proposal of something. This is like a new love here. We have this working with the Two of Wands energy, and the Two of Wands is waiting for the results on something, right? So this is some sort of new offering. They're waiting for the results on something, which is very interesting. Only going because right now it's like a message coming into them that's going to, you know, create the situation where they're going to need to make a choice. And I'm just thinking back to you getting the Eight of Wands energy. We have the crowning energies, the King of Cups. I mean, this person so wants to be like this beautiful, loving energy, improve the conditions within your relationship. Even if they're good, they want to make them great. There's a very supportive energy, tolerant, empathetic. Now, the foundation here, we do have the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands comes in and is just very, very lusty, very free spirit, very attracted to you. They want this with you. This is a very creative energy as well. See, and they're waiting for something. So I don't know, some sort of creative project that maybe they're waiting to come to fruition that's going to impact the relationship of some sort. But we do have this energy. They're very, very attracted to you as the foundation here. I mean, they're all up for it here. So now we have this, for them right now, this is the Eight of Swords energy, and they're wondering, do I belong? Is this the right thing? You know, just because of the moon, what I'm feeling here, I don't know, Virgo, do they battle with, are they good enough? Are they enough? Is this the right thing? Do they really want me? You know, they might be in the space like Virgo, like, do you really want them? Do you feel the same? Do they feel like it's the right thing for them? But that's it. It's such a self-imposed psychological energy. It really is. It's like this self-imposed imprisonment, this self-imposed feeling of isolation, this self-imposed, and it could be because they've changed, or because they feel like you've changed, or because maybe maybe they need their ego stroked. This could certainly be the energy. But here you are, Knight of Cups. Well, not you, but it's the idea here. This is an external energy that's influencing them, right? And because it's a knight, see, pages and knights could just be a general energetic influence. And what is the Knight of Cups energy? It's Prince Charming, it's Princess Charming coming in and offering this new romantic idea, this romantic proposal, this new chapter, right? In the relationship. So this could just be where they're at. They want this new beginning. They want to level things up with you. They might be struggling with a little bit of insecurity and vulnerability right now. Now, in their hope and their fear is they're kind of two things at once. Justice is a marriage card, so they're hoping for that level of commitment if you guys are not there already. But they want things to be fair. This is the truth of a situation being realized, and making sure that everything is fair and equitable. That is the Justice energy. It's a win-win solution, you know, where it's not all of what you want, all of what they want, but, you know, everybody having their needs met. But it's what they want, but it's also what they're afraid may not happen. Now, in the near future, we have this Empress energy, and the Empress is, in astrology, this is straight up Venus. She's the mother of the tarot. This is about fertility and abundance and being able to, you know, for those of you in the space where perhaps you are still in your years of having children, this is a fertility energy, pregnancy, good parenting, but it is abundance. It is this, you know, growing something, and she's perpetually pregnant. So, right, so an idea is planted, it's cultivated, it's grown, it's birthed, and then it happens again. So it's this constant like growing together, leveling up. Feeling really good about being in something. Beautiful energy. Final outcome card is we have the Nine of Coins. So the Nine of Coins is, again, financial gain. But if it has nothing to do with finances, you got this energy as well. You know, if we look at it as just mental, physical, emotional connection, it is this gain, and it is feeling really, really good about being in something, and then feeling really good about where you guys are going. And it's like more than what they thought, right? Because it is this idea of having not only your needs met, but having some little extra left over, right? That's what the Nine of Coins is. I mean, yes, that's nice reading, I'd have to say. I hope this resonates with you. If it doesn't, don't make it fit. You know, obviously, these are general messages. We can't get everybody's. But let's pull some love oracles. Let's see what we have. Sacred union. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it's truly sacred. Transformation. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it's only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. That's so funny, because that is what I got in your reading, right? For those last couple of cards, it's you still focusing on what it is that you need in the relationship. But I feel like they're in the same space too, which I think is so healthy. It's really healthy. Okay, my friends, that is what I have. I hope this was helpful for you in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time. Bye-bye.